Oh, okie dokie. Hey. Okay, let's get started. Just gonna get everyone on Discord going. Oh, looks like we have one person on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Let's see if we can get some people on Discord. AP Calc. I'm live now. Let's begin. Okie dokie. Oh, back to 0 people on YouTube. That's too bad. Hi, Nick. Just getting ready for class. How about you? Jeez, man. I guess that's the new life. Sleeping in. Okay, well. Right on. Okay, looks like we got a few more people strolling on in. I figured out how to mark your AP Calc, or the AP Classroom material. I kind of just spent the past 10 minutes sort of clicking through a few of your solutions. Looks fairly straightforward. I'll see if I can keep doing that. I'd like to maybe talk about maybe using that as an assessment because we haven't had a test in a while. So I wonder if maybe we could start using that. So maybe we can take a little poll on that later today. Maybe that could be your exit slip. Maybe like your opinion on using AP Classroom as a formal assessment of kind of like a review, right? Because I think that it is important to get some feedback on your review, and I think that feedback should be relevant to your final grade. So I think that's something that we can discuss. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about Unit 3. We're kind of just really racing through this material. Third day, we're on the third unit. Yeah, so this is where more differentiation comes in, and this is kind of like the more interesting kind of differentiation. And yeah, there's 3 main modes of this differentiation. Maybe mode is the wrong word. Three different types of differentiation that they talk about. They talk about composite differentiation, and that's what they're talking about is like the composition of functions. So composition of functions, and when you differentiate the composition of functions, that's like we use the chain rule. So really, this first bit is the chain rule, which is the big topic in differentiation, right? If you don't know the chain rule, then you've got a lot to learn, because the chain rule is really the essence of differentiation. We also have implicit differentiation. So that's where you're kind of differentiating like an algebraic expression, an algebraic equation, not necessarily like a function. So yeah, that's what implicit differentiation is. So like you could take the derivative of like the unit circle, for example, right? Because you can still imagine like the slope of a tangent line on the unit circle, right? So yeah, we have implicit differentiation, and then we have inverse differentiation, and this one is interesting. this is a topic that I didn't really spend too much time on in university. So I've kind of spent the past day sort of revisiting it and kind of going, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Inverse, so that's basically when you know the inverse of a function. So the inverse of a function, and then you take the derivative of that. And how is that related to, let's say, the derivative of the original function? So there's some interesting relationships there. So this is a fairly short unit, but it is an important unit. It does cover a lot of fairly heavy topics. So let's start writing some of these topics down. There's only 6 of them. Okay, so the 6 topics are, well, the first one is the chain rule. So there's the chain rule. Okay, and that's, of course, where you take the derivative of a composition of functions. 3.2 is, let's see, implicit differentiation. Implicit differentiation. Okay. 3.3 is on inverse functions. So differentiating inverse functions. Okay, 3.4, let's see what 3.4 is. That's differentiating inverse trig functions. So this is actually, that's a topic that we did in chapter 7. And I think I remember yesterday saying that this would probably come in a later unit. I'm wrong. I forget who it was who pointed out that they thought it was in chapter 3. You're right. Differentiating inverse trigonometric functions is in chapter 3. So I'll write just inverse trig. Inverse trig. So that's, that's like, okay, taking d by dx of like arc sine of x, right? Okay, 3.5, what's that? And this is kind of just like strategy. 3.5 is strategies for integration. So, the differentiation, thank you. Differentiation. Yeah, we're not there yet. Differentiation. Yeah. No, not yet. And then 3.6 is higher order derivatives. So like taking the derivative of a function several times, right? Like f triple prime of x, that kind of thing. So what do they call it? Higher order derivatives. Okay, and by the way, I'm kind of paraphrasing the topic names. Like, for example, 3.5, what they actually have is, it's the technical name for it is selecting procedures for calculating derivatives, which I think is, same thing as strategies, right? Selecting your procedure that's what a strategy is. So yeah, that's all of Unit 3. So I made a Google Doc yesterday. Did I share it with you, or did I just make it? I have a feeling I just made it. I don't think I shared it with you. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have shared it with you because I would have remembered having to gather all your email addresses and everything. So I will share that with you shortly. Now, where'd it go? Owned by me. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I have all of your email addresses, and I'll add everyone to this document. And like I say, if you're more comfortable just making your own study guide, I don't want to get in the way of that, but I think that it would be kind of fun to have a collaborative document going where we're all kind of co-authors to it. And of course, I can go in there and make some edits as well. So yeah, I'll do that while we're working on the first free response question for today. So yeah, I've assigned another free response question from Unit 3, and I started kind of playing around with it this morning as well. It's kind of a fun question. I actually enjoyed doing it. I mean, I didn't solve the whole thing. I just kind of did the first part. But yeah, so you can log into AP Classroom now. This has to do with the first one anyways. The first question has everything to do with the chain rule. So I think it's a great use of the chain rule. the thing I like about it is that it doesn't spell everything out for you. You kind of have to fill in some blanks yourself. So I think it's a good question. It's really going to make you think. So what we're going to do is I'll get you to start that while you're working on it. I'll add your names to, or your email addresses rather, to our shared document, and if you want to contribute to that, you absolutely can. I encourage you to. If you're not interested, I'm not going to twist your arm and force you to do that. But I do think it's very important to be making like a very thorough study guide with kind of, you know, piecing through your notes and organizing your thoughts, because there's a lot of topics, right? Like we've been going over the review for 3 days, and we have like what, 6 plus 10, so 16 plus 6, so we have 32 topics after 3 days, right? Like there's a lot of material to sort of organize, and there's what, 10 topics that we're going to go through roughly. So yeah, there's a lot of material to work through. I guess 9 topics if we leave unit 9 out of it. In any case, there's a lot of stuff to get through. A lot of ideas to sort of organize. So no matter if you want to take part in the collaborative study guide, or if you do your own, I really encourage you to make your own study guide. Yeah. So let's get started on that one. If you need, what I'll do is I know yesterday we had a bit of an issue. I think a few people couldn't access the AP Classroom. I'm really hoping you can today, and that it's not an ongoing problem. In any case, I'm just going to copy and paste the question into our Discord, and I'll put it, yeah, I guess I'll just put it on the Discord. So if you are just using YouTube, that's fine. I do encourage you to come join our Discord. It's fairly straightforward to do. The links to the Discord are on the website. If you go to the updates page, the Discord link is right at the top of the updates page, and you can click that. It's free. It's fairly straightforward to get a username going, and then at least you could see the questions if you can't access AP Classroom. But if you can't access AP Classroom, that kind of leads to a bigger problem, and you should really reach out to me as soon as possible. So and that goes for everyone in Discord too. If you can't access the AP Classroom, then you got to let me know, because that's really, really important. But I think so far pretty much everyone is able to do that. So okay, yeah, let's get started. So you guys can go. I'm gonna start punching some email addresses in, and then I'll catch up with you, and we'll do the first part together. Oh, it's unit 3. Which question is it? It's let me pull it up. I just had it up. Here it is. The type of question is analysis of functions, derivatives, table analytic. So they give you what that says, that we're going to analyze functions and their derivatives, and the way we're going to do it is with a table of values and analytically, so with algebra. So you're kind of attacking it from 2 sides, with the table of values and with algebra. And it is unit 3 progress check FRQ part A. Yeah. Now, do you not see that I assigned it, or do you just have a big list of all of them? Yeah. Yeah, I assigned the Unit 10 one a couple weeks ago when we were on that topic. But yeah, we'll just stick to Unit 3 for today. Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe so. I assigned it. Yeah, okay, check now, and if you can't access it, let me know. I'm trying to decide. I really think it would be a good idea to, I mean, here's the thing about teaching. If like, and I think that you guys know this and would agree. If something is worth marks, then you're gonna do it, right? If it's not worth marks, there's maybe 20 to 30% of the student base who do it. So I think it would be a good idea to make this worth marks, just to ensure that you're actually doing it and taking part in this. But my other hesitation is that, I mean, it's very easy to cheat, but then and anything that we do right now it's easy to cheat. So let me think about that. I'll get back to you on whether or not it's worth marks tomorrow. If it is worth marks, then obviously we'll have some time extensions for the first couple of units. But yeah, I really like the idea of having this worth marks. For one, because they're really good questions. They're questions that you can probably expect to have similar questions asked on the final exam. And it's also very thorough, right? We're covering all of the topics, so I think it would be a very good idea to have these worth marks. But let me think about it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. In the meantime, like, we're here now, just do it. And if it's worth marks, great. If it's not, it's still good practice, right? So. What is what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about when I said if they don't really spell it out for you. You kind of have to fill in some of the blanks yourself. I'll give you a bit of a hint from what I did. Where is it? Progress check, FRQ part A. Here it is. Oh, I said I was going to copy and paste this into the Discord. I'll just write it out here, and then I'll copy and paste it just so we don't lose this momentum. So g of x, they're saying g of x is equal to f of 2x minus x squared. And the problem is that we're not told what f is. We just have this table of values, right? We're told, okay, if this is x, this is f of x, and this is f prime of x. Well, so this is the part I'm saying. They're not spelling it out for you. So what I would do if I were you is I would introduce my own function. And this is how I solved it. I said, okay, well, I wonder if I could write this as a composition of functions. Like, is g of x actually a composition of functions? Like, could I write it as this, like f of h of x, where h of x is something, right? And then if you wanted to take the derivative, then you could use the chain rule, right? It'd be a little more clear as to what to do. I'm going to let you struggle with it for a little bit longer, though. I don't want to just solve it all out for you. We will go through the solution in a minute, though. So I'm just going to copy it out right here rather than pasting it in the Discord. I'll just copy it out. 5, -2, 4. Were you able to get part A? No? Okay. Okay, I'll give you a little hint. H of x in this case is 2x minus x squared, right? So if I get g prime of x, that is going, well, using the chain rule, I'm going to get f prime of h of x times, h prime of x. Right? Okay, so that's good. Well, let's start plugging some of this stuff in. So we're looking for what? G prime of negative 1. So g prime of negative 1 is f prime of h of negative 1 times h prime of negative 1. Right? Let's look at that part. H prime of negative 1, h of negative 1 rather, h of negative 1 is, well, what is it? 2 times negative 1 minus negative 1 squared. Right? I'm getting that from here. Right? Then you can refer to this table, right? I guess I'm moving a little too fast. So let's say, okay, so h of negative 1 is going to be negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 3. Okay, so this is equal to f prime of negative 3. And look at that, we have that value right here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have your eyes on the prize. Absolutely. Well, in a way, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna build off part A, but you have to like now you have this extra knowledge that g double prime of 0 is equal to 0, right? And you're gonna use that in your solution. Well, so you got this equation here, right? This one from part A, right? So you're going to build off of it. If you took the derivative of both sides, well, on this side you would get like g double prime, right? Which you would know is 0, right? And here, well, here you would have to apply the chain rule, and to include this, you'd also have to include the product rule, right? Mm-hmm. You're done what now? What do you mean cancel out? What about h double prime of x? Is that also 0? Okay, I mean, keep struggling with it. Keep fiddling around with your algebra. You'll get it. Is it 2? Check your positives and negatives, eh? Oh, fun. There you go.